Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done talking about the race for the WNBA MVP award as the race heats up. And now we're switching gears to talking about women's MMA. So in this segment, we're going to talk about the upcoming fight between Tracy Cortez and Rose Namajunas and some updates about Kayla Harrison because, we're all wondering what Kayla Harrison is doing at the second because she's the ultimate MMA fighter, in my opinion. Honestly, Ronda Rousey is higher up there, but that's a different story. So before we begin, I did want to remind you guys to like and follow the show and to become a part of our show by tipping and donating using the link gsmcpodcast.net. This link also puts your questions at the top of the list so that I see them when they get read on the air. You get that fun, interactive aspect of the GSMC Sports Network. I also wanted to remind you guys to stay to the end of the show to hear about the 2024 CrossFit Service Open, and it's really interesting how it played out and everything, and if y'all are into CrossFit, you should definitely stay for that. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get started talking about Tracy Cortez. So lately there has been a slightly different feeling in the women's division in the UFC as some sort of cloud of negativity. I felt it a little bit. It could be because of inactivity with the flyweight title sitting dormant for the better part of the past year and the bantamweight title seemingly not seeing action again until the final months of 2024. That same chatter lately regarding women's MMA was much the same when the main event for the UFC Denver was originally announced as Rose Namajunas versus Maycee Barber. But the mood seemingly changed when Barber fell out and was replaced by Tracy Cortez, who came into the matchup on an 11-fight win streak and undefeated in the UFC. Cortez said on Monday on the MMA Hour, and I'm sorry if I'm blinking so much, I currently have an eyelash stuck in my eye and I cannot get it out. That's just, anyway, sorry if that's gross, but so, and I hope now that I pointed out that I'm blinking a lot more than usual, it doesn't get too distracting or anything, so I apologize. But anyway, so Cortez said on Monday, quote, "I think it's one of those things where everyone's waiting for the next Ronda Rousey, for the next Joanna Jędrzejczyk, someone incredible like Jean Welly to stay on top and prove themselves, someone like Rose to ride that the way Ronda did, or even myself now that I'm here. But I did see this shift towards negativity, and I don't know why. I don't know why women's MMA is getting bashed recently the way it is, but hopefully July 13th we put on a great show, an exciting show, and we want the crowd, I literally cannot read. I'm so sorry. And we give the crowd what they want, get them excited again for women's MMA, unquote. And I also apologize for pronouncing Joanna's last name incorrectly. I will never be able to say her last name. I'm really bad with last names and pronouncing anything in general, as you can see. So I sincerely apologize. Anyway, so there have been several women pioneers in the sport. Tara La Rosa, Shelby Walker, Gina Carano, and Miesha Tate, to name just a few. They all laid the way for Ronda Rousey to put women's MMA on the mainstream map. Rousey was crowned the inaugural UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion in 2012 and went on to set nearly every UFC record for women. Cortez plans to surpass Rousey's accomplishments. Namajunas will make the walk to the cage ranked 6th. It will be Cortez's first UFC main event, but she loves having pressure to perform apparently. And she said, quote, "I thrive off of pressure. I've always been judged and overlooked and just a pretty face. I'm here now. The record speaks for itself and I thrive off of it. I love it. I genuinely love the pressure. I feel like I perform. I embrace it to the fullest," unquote. A win over Namajunas would put Cortez squarely in contender status, but she's looking to be more than just a contender. In my opinion, I see Namajunas taking the win. But still predicting the outcome of a fight between Tracy Cortez and Rose Namajunas is no easy task because both fighters bring unique styles and strikes to the octagon. Tracy Cortez is known for her wrestling and grappling skills. She's got a solid ground game, which she's used effectively throughout her undefeated UFC career. Her ability to control opponents on the ground and her defensive skills makes her a tough competitor. Riding an 11-fight win streak and being undefeated in the UFC gives Cortez a lot of momentum and confidence. Her recent performances suggest she's in peak form and ready to take on higher-ranked opponents. Plus, Cortez thrives under pressure and loves the challenge of being in the spotlight. She's determined to prove herself and surpass the achievements of past legends like Ronda Rousey, which can really fuel her performance. On the other hand, Rose Namajunas is a well-rounded fighter with exceptional striking, agility, and technical skills. She's got notable victories against top fighters and has shown resilience and adaptability in her fights. Namajunas has fought at the highest levels of the sport and faced some of the best competition in the women's divisions, giving her an edge in the event. Known for her fighting IQ and ability to execute game plans effectively, her striking and footwork can pose significant challenges for opponents who rely heavily on grappling. So while Tracy Cortez brings a lot of momentum and a solid grappling base, Rose Namajunas' experience and well-rounded skill set make her a tough opponent. If Namajunas can keep the fight standing and use her striking to maintain distance, she could outpoint Cortez and maybe even secure a finish. However, if Cortez can close the distance, execute takedowns, and control Namajunas on the ground, she can stand a strong chance of winning. Considering both fighters' strengths and recent performances, it's a closely matched bout. The edge might slightly favor Namajunas due to her experience and versatility, and that is where I'm leaning who is going to win. However, Cortez's unbeaten streak and her ability to rise to the occasion can't be underestimated. So my final prediction is that Rose Namajunas wins by decision, but it will be a closely contested fight with moments of dominance from both fighters. So we're already talking about one of the most known fighters in the world, so that brings me to another person I wanted to talk about, Kayla Harrison. Kayla Harrison is champion at the bit to fight in the octagon, but her next move is unclear with UFC Women's Bantamweight Champion Raquel Pennington versus Juliana Pena seemingly on the horizon. Pennington and Pena told multiple reporters they were slated to fight each other at UFC 307 in Salt Lake City on October 5th while walking the UFC Hall of Fame red carpet on June 27th. It's a reasonable booking considering Pena's status as a former champion, her number one standing in the UFC's official women's bantamweight rankings, and the division's shallow pool of contenders. But there seems to be greater fan interest in seeing Harrison, who's number 4, an Olympic gold medalist judoka and two-time PFL champion fighting for the title. Harrison debuted at UFC 300 on April 13th, dominating former UFC and boxing champion Holly Holm en route to a second-round submission. Harrison previously expressed her desire to fight Pena for the interim title. The UFC opted to go a different direction, but Harrison still has faith in UFC brass. During UFC International Fight Week, Harrison said, quote, "I'm still the new kid on the block, and I'm a team player. I believe in the UFC top brass. I believe that Hunter Campbell, Sean Shelby, Mick Maynard, and Dana White have a plan. If I need to smash another school before I get my belt, so be it," unquote. Harrison has options, including serving as backup for UFC 307 or fighting another contender like Ketlin Vieira or Maycee Barber. Whatever the case, Harrison wants to fight as soon as possible, which is great for us fans. A potential showdown with Amanda Nunes is arguably a bigger box office attraction and legacy fight than the title shot. Nunes retired after defeating Pena at UFC 289 in June 2023, vacating her women's featherweight and bantamweight titles. Nunes teased interest in fighting Harrison, and rumors swirled of booking the fight after Conor McGregor versus Michael Chandler was scrapped from UFC 303. Harrison reaffirmed that she would have accepted the short notice fight, but said the UFC never approached her. So, yeah, but here's some extra tea for y'all. Harrison's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, recently told Submission Radio that Nunes retired because she feared Harrison. That's insane. The Olympic gold medalist isn't as audacious as her manager, but is supremely confident in her chances against who many consider to be the greatest women's MMA fighter ever. So, yeah, that's pretty insane. If Nunes fears you, that's pretty incredible. So we're now going to move into the next segment where we talk about the Paralympic swimming trials and final team roster for that. Before we begin, we are going to take a very short break, so I will see you guys very soon.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.